And it's a beautiful Thursday. Welcome to yet another episode of the most exciting and, of course, your favorite show, Coffee Break with me, Harold AMENYAH. Remember, the show is produced by Virtual Hub Studios. Okay, now on today's episode, we've got one very funny comedian on our show. This is somebody who's taking over the online space with his content and his skits. You definitely want to hear from him. My outfit on the show today, of course, is by Odina Kutu. You can check them out on Instagram, Odina Kutu. And if you're watching us on YouTube, don't forget to like, share, and of course comment on this interview. Let us know what you think, and then also subscribe to our channel so that you can get updates on our upcoming interviews. If you're watching us on MX24, do head to our socials at CB with Harold on Instagram and Twitter and drop your comments, and of course share this interview with all the people you love. When we come back from the break, we meet our guest. Stay tuned.
Coffee break with Harold.
All right, our guest for today is the one and only comedian WARIS. WARIS, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
How are you doing?
I'm good. As usual, you know, even if I'm tired, I'm good.
You seem to be very, very hardworking. Every time I talk to you or I come across you, it's like you are always on the go.
Yeah, it's by the grace of God.
What drives you?
There are a lot of things that drives me, most especially when I think about where I came from, you know, that kind of motivation where I don't want to go back to where I came from.
Which is where?
Like, from where I started from, where I never thought I would be here, where I thought everything was impossible. You understand? So it's impossible, all right, but if I don't work hard, I might go back to where I came from.
So that desire to not go back to your past.
To always win, to be bigger than who I used to be, to always put something across for my future kids so that they wouldn't even step in where, if they have to step to learn, but they won't step there as if say Obrana ni omo akoshe baby. You understand?
It sounds like you had a hard past. Take us through your past. What was growing up for you like?
Well, as a child who started life living in a luxury, like my dad was very rich. He was worthy. Let me say, not rich. He was worthy until he lost his life, and then everything vanished. We had to go back to zero where we didn't have anything. We have to be walking on the streets, do up and down before we eat. I think that...
At what age did your father lose his life?
That was when I was 13 years. Yes. So I think with that alone, I feel like I've seen a lot of things. You understand? And as a man, I don't have any other important thing aside being hardworking to get someone's attention to like what I am doing. You understand? So, like if you're a lady, you know, with me because you know Ghana. But being a man, it's very difficult. You understand?
So at that time, how were you able to survive through school and all that? To what level did you get with education?
Well, my mom was able to take care of me till I completed JHS, and it was a funny thing. We didn't go to school like every other person goes to school. Like maybe Harold's father would be like, I want my son to be a pilot, so I'm taking him to school. I want my son to be a doctor, I'm taking him to school. We went to school because we were making noise at home. Our parents, go school. So you know, when you complete JHS, parents from our section will be like, okay, yeah, try. So the rest is Obrano, they've had basics, so they should just continue. So sometimes I question myself, who has the highest level of education in our family? And then I begin to see some people. So when I see them, I look at their lifestyle and I realize that they have money, they are living, they are okay. When you look at those who didn't go far, they are somehow always depending on people, looking for. So that motivated me to be like, okay, since I completed JHS, let me just do some other stuff, so that I'll just move on into the tertiary or secondary. Are you the only child? I'm the firstborn. I have a brother.
A brother. So two of you.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I've sold pure water on the street. Those days when you used to sell pure water, it wasn't like today where they only shout pure water. We shout the brand. Standard water, mobile water, so that from afar you know what you are buying. you know. So I sold pure water. I did a lot of things. I started going to school, senior high. After my mom and I went to, you know, Macmillan. That was the only place that trained me to be creative, because it was a big warehouse where there are storybooks where they sell it to schools. And then I happened to work over there as a cleaner. And
this was after JHS?
After JHS, as a cleaner and as someone who, a boy who helps people to pack books into their cars so that they will take it along. So a big warehouse where there is nobody there. And then one time I was just strolling in the warehouse alone, and then I saw a book. It's called The Interview. And then I read the book, and then I started growing interest in reading the books. So I could just sit in the warehouse, be reading book by book. If it is the Harold's life that is there, it's almost like 500 books, and then it's all over. So when I sit on it, I'll read it. When I'm done, I'll go to another book. So I started reading, and that was how come, as a Zongo boy or street boy like me, I started learning English, learning book, learning how to write stories.
So that place became your SHS?
Yeah, it was like, no. So when I got that kind of knowledge from that place, and then I was working, my mom was selling food around. There was a time there was no security anymore around, and then my mom was like, oh, since I sell food here and I go home every Saturday, let me just do the security from Monday to Friday. She started doing security and all that.
Your mom? Where? She was doing security where?
At RSTC. I know RSTC, Road Safety and Transport Commission.
Where?
We were in a yard
in
with
Accra?
Macmillan. Yeah. So when we were in the yard, every company wants me to be around them. That was how I got the chance to work at Macmillan. So I grew interest in reading books, and then I started reading this GAST, these stuffs. So before I would even enter secondary school, I knew about the GAST, I knew about the biology, the whatever. So my interest was all in agriculture science.
Wow.
So after everything, my mom put together all the money, the security and the selling of the food and everything that we did. And then they took me to Dogono Senior High. So it wasn't a thing like man wanted to, but from where my mom was seeing the vision that her son has to continue education, I don't even know. I think it's by the grace of God.
So you entered Odogono High School. Which course did you read?
Agric Science.
Agric Science.
Not me a shark man.
Did you pass?
Like my first, you know, it's very sad. I wrote only 2 exams, first term, second term. The rest of the terms, my mom was sick. There was no money. I wasn't writing exams because I'm owing. I was doing this. And it got to a point in Form 2 where I realized that I'm the highest person who is owing in the school. And I can't leave the school. And if I leave the school too, it will be somewhere for me. Charlie, I can't know plenty people. Now they can't leave, then I talk, say, no, I forbid the school. So you sack me, I don't go. You give me lorry fare to go home, I won't go. Some time ago, I said even my mom is dead. They have to forget. I've become orphan to the school.
So you were just loitering about?
Yeah, and then I was with my mates, up and down, dining hall, preps. So I grew interest in athletics also. And somewhere in 2012, I was the fastest athlete in Greater Accra.
Wow. So at what point did comedy come in?
Comedy came in right after I completed senior high and tertiary. I did radio, TV for some time.
You did radio and TV?
Yeah.
Where?
Channel 5 TV, Top FM, Rainbow Radio.
As what?
As radio and sound engineer.
Okay.
Yeah, and Marcus FM. I worked at a lot of places. So at a point, I was working in a radio station, and then, like, I was supposed to play test transmission. That day I was playing the test transmission. The next day we are commissioning the radio station. Then that day I was playing, and all of a sudden there was a fire outbreak over there. Okay. And then the place really got bent, but I took the transmitter and the important stuffs, I took them out. So when the place got bent, I had to stop. And then I was like, my mason that, my security, my ton pure water, my say. I got home and I told my mom she shouldn't bother about anything. She should just leave me.
Leave you?
Yeah, I actually had to stay at home in a room without talking to anybody for almost like 2 weeks.
Were you depressed?
I was, and I felt like try my brabo na didn't.
How old were you at the time?
I was around 25. So at 25, you are still struggling. You are pushing. You are doing this. You are doing that. You are working as spare parts. You are doing this all fairly. Military forms, crowd far, enough forms, no. I could do enough. Post office B. So it was then that whilst I was in my depressed mode, I started seeing the funny side of every hustle I've done. Like you go to places, you want to meet someone's boss, they tell you he's not around, meanwhile he's around. You have to stay from 6 to 6 waiting for. Like all of those things, I started turning it into humor. And then I started learning a lot of things that they happen for a reason.
Wow.
Yeah, and then today I'm here.
The conversation is getting interesting. We'll be right back after this. Don't go nowhere.
It's coffee break with Harold.
Welcome back to the show. WARIS, where did you get your break? And I'm sure, because usually when people finally find themselves, right, it takes a while for them to actually break through. And then in an industry as competitive as comedy, how did you finally break through?
Well, I think the day I found out I was me for comedy, it was a breakthrough for me. That right at that point, I realized that this is a breakthrough for me. Because immediately I got auditioned by DKB. I got the opportunity to be in graphic as one of the winners and all that.
Winners of?
The auditions. I sat down and I was like, how do I become a good comedian? So I asked DKB, was like, if you can write 20 jokes within a day, you are good to go. I sat down, I wrote almost like 50 jokes within a day.
Wow.
So there was a time I met Salvador, and then he told me, look at this cup. And then I asked him why, and then he said, oh, if you can create a joke with this one, 5 jokes, you're a good guy. And then I was like, I can't. Then he looked at this cup. This cup can do this, it can do this, it can do this. I was like, wow, teach me. And then he taught me 1 or 2 stuffs on how to look at things in a perspective that gives you the humor.
Would you say comedy can be learned? I didn't think comedy was learnable.
You can learn it if you have that kind of mindset where you see, I was good with imaginations. Like I can just sit here, I will imagine I'm in my room, I'm packing my stuffs, I've picked key, every bit of it, my footsteps, I wear the shoe, and then I pick my bag, I go to the airport, everything they are saying, I can imagine until I get to abroad where I meet somebody, I talk, like I'm good. And I can, in those instances, I can begin to create jokes, like skits out of them. You met a white man and then something happened and then they want to report you. They said, why are you doing that? You start speaking your dialogue. They bring translator, you speak another dialogue, they bring another, you see, I can just be imagining things that I've never done in my life. So that is how I think, to be a comedian, if you want to learn, you should be creative on your mind. Yeah.
But are you happy now? If you look at yourself, I mean, having gone through all those disappointments, heartbreaks, failures and all that, with where you are now, would you say you are fulfilled?
Look, I feel without those stuffs, I wouldn't be here. You understand? I would have tried 1 or 2 and it worked for me, and the next moment I want to try another thing, it doesn't work. I'm like, I won't do it. Let me do another stuff. But when I try. When I worked in radio and I was about to stop, my boss asked me, why do you want to stop? And then I told him, you told me if I work for 1 year and I don't get money that I've saved up to 3,000, I don't have to work. And then he was like, but you can do it. I told him, look, I've worked for 3 years. Count the radio stations. I've never saved 3,000 cedis. So let me just pursue another stuff. When I started comedy, after about 7 months, I performed on Laugh Line, Comedy Express, as an opener up and there and here and there. There was my first show that I performed. It was a private show for ministers in Tema. They were having an end of year party. And I took about 4,000 per day.
Wow.
So if I'm a sound engineer and I can save 3,000 per year, and I take per day as a stand-up comedian 4,000, then it means that is where the thing is.
Let's talk about online skits. Online skits is definitely something that has become a thing now.
Yeah.
And I see you very active in that regard.
Yeah.
How do you make money off online skits?
Well, I make money on YouTube, and then I make money as influencer and ambassador. You see, influencer marketing is the latest thing and is the biggest thing. It's here to stay. It won't go. You understand? So it's a thing that every company would like to associate himself with once they know that their brand would go far. So
you market for companies
online,
I market
for
through
companies.
your skits.
Yeah, true.
And they pay you.
Yeah.
So what are some of the rates? I'm very curious to know.
That one you have to ask my manager. It's
no, like what? Like how much? How much you usually get paid? So for instance, if you did a skit for maybe a brand, I have a new brand that I'm trying to introduce to the market, and I wanted you to do a 30-second funny skit with the brand, how much would you charge?
It depends, but my management is involved. It depends on the props, where we want to shoot, how the content looks like, what you want to use for the content. Yeah, but in all, we just write everything up.
But what's the range of fees that usually come your way, or that you usually charge?
I don't remember some of them. It chow too much.
You don't remember? I mean, give us a range, because some people, there are times when people want to book you, and they see all the things that you do, and they might be intimidated.
But I can't remember, but I can say for sure I've taken per content somewhere like 9,000 before.
What's the least you've taken?
My least I've taken is 5,500.
For one content?
For one content, yeah. But I can't say.
It means you are making money. Would you say you are rich?
I'm not rich, but I'm okay. I have peace.
So you have a place of your own?
I don't have a place of my own, but I'm working on my own.
So where are you staying now?
Right now I'm at Dakuman.
Dakuman.
Yeah.
Okay, you've rented space, or you live with a friend?
I rented a place.
Is it a 1-bedroom or a 2-bedroom?
It's like a house. Yeah.
Okay. You have your own car?
I don't have my own car, but I drive.
You drive? What car do you drive?
I drive Uber.
What is the future for Ghanaian comedy? And when I've asked some of your colleagues on this show about, how they always say Ghanaian comedians are not funny. We always get that, okay? What is the future for Ghana comedy? Do you think it stands a chance of getting any better, or even being able to rub shoulders with our Nigerian counterparts?
Well, I think Ghanaian comedy is big. The future is very, very big. And when you look at how we are moving, you even know it's going to be bigger than ever. Right now, everybody is doing comedy. Mother, son, everywhere is comedy. Everybody picks a phone and they want to do TikTok, something funny. They want to do something. It all forms part of comedy. And one thing that makes me believe that Ghanaian comedy will be bigger is the support we are receiving from people. Our audience. Ghanaians are giving us good support. And the way they are embracing comedy, like when you have a show, they all want to come, they want to support, they want to show that there is a Ghanaian comedian who is actually doing so well. That alone is lit for me, and it makes me feel like in future it would be bigger.
Calibos sat here a couple of weeks ago and we asked him the same question, and he said otherwise. So what are you doing differently that is making you get all this support?
Well, I'm a stand-up comedian, and Calibos is maybe a skit maker or a movie, an actor.
Is it not still in the same comedy space?
It's in a comedy space, but my stand-up is being a stand-up comedian.
Would you say you are better than Calibos?
I wouldn't say I'm better than Calibos. I would say I'm learning from Calibos when it comes to skits. You understand? And sometimes...
What would make one comedian more desirable over the other?
Well, what would make... Well, I think it would be brand. It would be branding. How you brand yourself, and then how you put yourself.
How have you branded yourself? Because you seem to be getting a lot of love.
Yeah, I'm branding myself to be an artist who is circular, moving all over. I'm a scriptwriter, producer, content creator, director, and then I do stand-up comedy as well. I have a TV series around. I mean, it brings the difference.
And you have a show coming up.
Yeah, 16th of October. That is
Seriously Unserious.
yeah.
Tell me about Seriously Unserious.
Oh, Seriously Unserious is a project. It's a thing that I've always dreamt about. Is coming off 16th of October. I've had a dream. I've been thinking about how to say every other serious thing that has happened to me in an unserious way, just to make somebody feel motivated that whatever he's going through is preparing him towards something that is bigger and greater in life. So Seriously Unserious is to talk about me. It's to talk about something that you are going through. It's the street life. Yeah,
Is it going to be a one-man show?
It's actually a one-man show, but I actually put on my friends, my colleagues, to support me.
Who are some of them?
Obi and Ponsa, Lexi, MJ, DKB, and then we have a musical performance by Famille and Sugar Lord.
Awesome.
There are surprise artists.
Awesome. I can't wait to be there.
There are surprise artists.
There are surprise actors there.
But they are just,
awesome.
they're in the shadows.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, Waris, I think you are a young man who is very hardworking, doing exceptionally well. I mean, I think you only caught my attention because of your hard work, right? Because I saw a young man who's got a lot of fire, energy, and is willing to make a difference. That's what attracted me to you, and I think you should really keep it up.
Thank you.
And thank you for coming on the show.
God bless
It's
you.
been a pleasure, bro.
Thank you.
All right, guys. So I guess
Don't give me Lorry Fair.
Lorry Fair. My producers will give you Lorry Fair. Well, guys, it's been an interesting conversation. Our personality for today has been comedian Waris right here on Coffee Break. Make sure you are there for Seriously Unserious, okay? It's the first of its kind. You don't want to miss out. The show, as always, is brought to you by Virtual Harp Studios. My outfit is by Odina Kutu. Same time next week, we're definitely coming your way with yet another episode. Have a good one. My name is Harold AMENYAH. Take care.